Welcome back for another video. We've got a really good one lined up today. It's been a week since the last preseason update and there's been a ton of action since. In this one we cover the key talking points, the results and all the form players from all 20 teams in preseason. You won't find content like this anywhere else, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. Scout's preseason page is one of the main resources I use for these, where you can find the fixtures and results, form players, including lots of information not included here, including minutes by player, set piece takers and new signings. It's one of the many features you get as a member and it's only £2.99 a month, 30% off. Click the link below to join. So starting with Arsenal, and it's been a busy week. A comfortable 5-0 win against the MLS All-Stars. Goals from Martinelli, Havertz, Trossard and Jesus. Jorginho also scored a penalty, but Saka wasn't on the pitch, who was expected to be on penalty still. A disappointing 2-0 loss followed to Man United, where both Havertz and Ødegaard started together in midfield. Arteta remarked after that they will need some time to gel. This was the lineup that they played. Tomiyasu started in left back before Tierney replaced him at half time. Zinchenko still not involved in any pre-season games. Saka, Ødegaard and Jesus with the most returns in pre-season as it stands for Arsenal, 3 games to play. Some of you have opted for Watkins over Jesus for the same price, and the good news is that he scored in both their pre-season matches, another 4 to play still. Against Walsall, it was a goal from the penalty spot, though Tielemans wasn't on the pitch. He does have a better record from the penalty spot. Watkins has taken 9 pens in his career and scored 4. Buendia was exceptional against Newcastle, involved in all 3 goals, 2 goals and 1 assist, and a 3-3 draw. No returns from Solanke in pre-season yet. He wasn't involved in the first match, however. New signing Clover has 2 assists, an interesting option for 5 mil if he can carry that form into the season. Christie and Billing have a couple of returns each, but both unlikely to be good FPL picks. On to Brentford then. 2 games played, but a couple of takeaways here. Henry's definitely thrown his name into the ring as one of the best 4.5 mil defenders. 2 assists against Fulham. And Bumo played down the right wing that match, Lewis Potter down the left, who got an assist. It was 6 mil Vessa who played up top with no Tony, and he scored 17 minutes in. One to keep a close eye on for only 6 mil and decent opening fixtures. He's in my current draft actually. Vissa didn't get any opportunities last season given Tony's ever-presence, but in about 1,500 minutes he had 7 goals and 4 assists, a return at a rate every 144 minutes. Brighton have played 1 game, which was a 4-3 loss to Chelsea. Ferguson was on the bench and not involved at all. Welbeck started and he scored 13 minutes in. Mitoma got the assist as well, which many of you I'm sure will be glad to hear. João Pedro came on at 53 minutes and he was exceptional, getting 1 goal, 1 assist. It was 1-0 up until the 60th minute where Van Hecke got a red card for Brighton. Some interesting notes from De Zerbi's last press conference. He said Mitoma and March have a 15 to 20 goal target this season, presumably that's across all competitions. And on João Pedro, he said his quality is right for their style of play, but they have other options too, and Ciso, Ferguson, Lallana, Welbeck, everyone will play. Lots to discuss from a Chelsea perspective as well, which we'll get to in a minute. Burnley next, and here's something you don't see every day. They kept a clean sheet against Benfica. The game was played in Portugal, though not Benfica's stadium, but an impressive result, and Benfica had the likes of Di Maria in the team. Bayer wasn't involved in that match at all, though he played 90 against Genk just a few days before. Big update on Chelsea then. 2 games and 2 wins for Pochettino, but let's focus on the Brighton game. Chilwell was playing very advanced, looked dangerous and threatening. Nkunku led the line from the start and he did net in the first half until the 63rd minute before Jackson replaced him. Gusto played with James out and he did very well defensively, only 4 mil. Mudryk was actually fantastic, lightning quick, and he got a brilliant goal, well taken. Jackson also did very well after coming on. He only got 30 minutes, but he picked up 2 assists and he scored. Sterling was frustrating, largely uninvolved. We'll have to see who leads the line. Pochettino remarked that Nkunku and Jackson could start together, also a possibility. Eze is the most informed player in the Crystal Palace camp with a goal and 3 assists, though all returns did come against League 2 Crawley Town. The 6.5 midfielder spot is completely stacked, and the question is, who's the best between Mitoma and Bumo and Eze? Ahmad has popped up out of nowhere as a shout for the best 4.5 mil mid. He assisted both goals in the Brøndby 2-2 draw, and he scored against Crawley. If you're playing with a midfield 4, then he is one to consider for the 5th spot to sit on your bench. Not much to report on from Everton, however in typical Dyche fashion they kept 2 clean sheets on the bounce. Pickford played the Wigan game and backup keeper Virginia the other 2. 4 mil defender Branthwaite was one player some were hoping becomes an option, though he hasn't played a minute in pre-season so far, 2 games to go for Everton. We'll keep Fulham brief and then on to Liverpool. 5 mil forward Vinicius scored against Brentford, which looked promising at the time amidst rumours that Mitrovic is leaving. However, Fulham have just signed 5.5 mil forward Jimenez from Wolves, who should be first choice. On to Liverpool then, and so much to discuss here. If you are finding these videos useful, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the final couple of episodes. Returns absolutely everywhere from Liverpool. 2 games played, 8 goals. Darwin, the most informed player with 3 goals and 1 assist. It goes without saying that you'll do well if you nail your Liverpool picks, but it's very hard to judge which ones right now. Salah's the obvious one, with a goal and 3 assists, but of course he commands the 12.5 mil price tag, while Darwin's 5 mil cheaper. Jota is Darwin's competition though, and he has 3 returns himself. Gakpo potentially also competing for a striker spot or the left wing, and he has 1 goal, 1 assist as well. Trent's been playing as a defensive mid in the first 2 games, which is a change to the role he had last season. However, this could be temporary due to the lack of alternative options, with no Henderson and no Fabinho. On paper it's detrimental to his output, but he did still manage to get an assist against Firth. Luton have played 2 games, technically 3, but 1 was the B team and not covered anywhere. 5.5 mil forward Morris scored from the penalty spot in their most recent game. Bell played against Peterborough but not Ipswich. New 4 mil signing Kabore wasn't in the Ipswich squad, he's only just signed for them. 4.5 mil forward McCarthy got 1 goal, 1 assist in their first game, but he's far down the pecking order, so don't expect any minutes at all in the Prem. Not to be confused with Man City's McCarthy, who actually scored against Bayern. As far as 4.5 mil forwards, Mubama's the best option, more on him later. So what's Haaland up to? You're not going to believe it, but he's still scoring goals. He came on at half time against Yokohama, scored twice and walked away with man of the match. Alvarez had a very good game, 1 goal, 1 assist before coming off at half time, only 6.5 mil. Foden picked up an assist in both games as well. Ake hobbled off with an injury after 29 minutes. On to Man United. The most recent match against Wrexham was entirely academy players and Johnny Evans, so we'll leave that one out for analysis. However, the Arsenal game was a great result. This was how they lined up for that match. Sancho actually led the line, and post-match Ten Hag said that his best position is central, though they are expected to sign a striker, so it's unlikely we see Sancho up top game week 1. There were concerns about what effect Mount will have on Bruno. Based only on the Arsenal game, Bruno had a more advanced role and average possession, and he did score from outside the box and he created a big chance. Some tough games for Man United ahead, we'll have a good update by next week. Isak has 1 goal, 1 assist, and Wilson has 1 goal for Newcastle. They've played 3 of 7 pre-season games so far. Anderson's actually having the best pre-season of all players, but not expected to be a regular starter, so avoid him in FPL. So Maximan has a couple of returns, but he is on his way out, so he's been removed from the updates. No returns from Trippier. He played 65 minutes against Gateshead, and then he played 1 half of football in the 2 games since. Not much to report on from Forest, 2 wins and 1 loss in pre-season, 4 games to play. Elanga has signed from them from Man United, and he's 5 mil, an interesting option, but some Forest fans feel that he won't be in the starting 11 for the tougher away games in particular. In fact, even Johnson will struggle to cement a spot in the 11 for all the away games, though he could be on his way out to Brentford. Sheffield United kept a clean sheet against Rotherham, and 4 mil bargain Baldock started that one, and it came off at the 75-minute mark. And Dye has 1 goal, not much to report on other than that. Tottenham had a match against Leicester postponed due to a waterlogged pitch, so they've actually only played 1 game. However, it was a last-minute postponement, so we still have the starting 11 that Spurs announced, which is as follows. It was Son, Kane and Kulu front 3, and Dombele missed out entirely. 4.5 mil defender Udogie was going to start that one in left back, with Porro on the opposite flank. Son came out with a quote worth highlighting here. He said, "Last season I spent the whole season in pain, and now I feel really good and fresh. I'm ready to rock and roll." He did reportedly play with a hernia, which has been operated on. So are we sleeping on Son? West Ham then. I mentioned earlier that there's a good 4.5 mil forward, and it's Mubama, who scored in each of West Ham's last 3 friendlies. Could he be in Moyes' plans based on his pre-season involvement and the form he's shown? Bowen's the most informed player in pre-season of all teams, 3 goals and 3 assists from 3 games played. West Ham kicked the season off away to Bournemouth as well, which is a good fixture. Bowen and Mubama are the 2 names really leaping out at West Ham. Wolves kept a clean sheet against FC Porto, and they've got 2 more games to play. As mentioned earlier, Jimenez has left. Cunha started in striker in the most recent match. 4.5 mil Chiquinho has 1 assist as a midfielder. So perhaps Ahamada and Chiquinho are the best options in that price bracket currently. He's actually a winger, Chiquinho, but potentially less likely to get good minutes. Neto scored in Wolves' most recent match, but he's a trap, avoid him. Thanks for watching, hit like and make sure you're subscribed. I'll be bringing you another update next week. See you soon for the next one.